Has your Volkswagen or Audi infotainment screen suddenly gone completely black? No logo, no sound, nothing? You're definitely not alone. This has become one of the most common electrical faults across Volkswagen Group cars. But here's the good news. In most cases, it's not a total system replacement. So let's break down why these screens go black and what you can actually do about it. Modern cars are essentially rolling computers. The infotainment system doesn't just control media and navigation anymore. It runs everything from your reversing camera, parking sensors, to your lighting, heated seats, or even climate control settings. So when that crucial screen goes black, it can feel like the entire car has shut down. All the systems like the Audi 2G and 3G setups from around 2005 to 2015 used something called daisy chain design. This meant separate control modules for like radio, navigation, Bluetooth, amplifier, and so on. They were all linked together, but they were separate. So if one of them failed, that meant it would bring down the rest of the system, so it just shuts down. Then came MIB2 and MIB3 systems, where most of these separate modules were compacted into just like a one single control unit. That control unit we call 5F, or the head unit. This is basically a single main computer that controls almost everything. It's highly connected with Volkswagen servers these days, and that's great for integration, but it also means a fault in one part of the system can ripple across everything else. So let's look at the three most common reasons these infotainment screens go black and how to spot which one you might be actually dealing with. So number one we're starting with is sometimes the problem really is what it looks like, the screen itself. In many Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seats, Porsches, most infotainment systems use touch displays, and those are particularly prone to screen-related faults. On these touch-enabled units, the top layer, the part that registers your touch, can separate from the glass, a fault known as delamination. It often starts with flickering or ghost touches before the screen eventually goes completely black. But even on the non-touch models, failures that can still happen. In those cases, it's usually the display electronics on the screen itself, which has like an internal circuit board that might go bad. The screen might be still getting power, but the control board fails to send an image signal. Most dealerships will quote for a full replacement, but that's rarely necessary. In many cases, the fault is isolated to the screen electronics, not the main control unit. So the takeaway from this is whether it's a touchscreen or not, a black display doesn't always mean a total system failure. The screen internal electronics are often the weak point, and they can often be repaired rather than replacing the whole unit. Number two, if the screen is fine, but there's no sound, no logo, and no sign of life, the issue is often deeper inside the main control unit, which is sometimes called the head unit or 5F, as I mentioned earlier. It's basically the main computer that runs the entire infotainment system, handling the software, sound, navigation, and link between the screen and the rest of the car. You usually find it tucked behind the glove box, quietly doing all the hard work in the background. These units can fail in a few ways, so let's go through them. Hardware faults, things like main processors becoming debonded from the board, failed memory chips, or damaged solder joints that we see a lot from heat or vibration. Remember, the electronics in cars go through a much harsher conditions than anything sitting on your desk at home. So imagine extreme heat, cold, constant vibration, and even condensation inside the dashboard. Over time, that takes a toll on the delicate circuit boards and solder joints, making failures more common than most people realize. So the next in line would be software faults, which are often caused by corrupted firmware, especially after a low battery or jump start, or if there's an incomplete software update. We've had cars coming where a software update froze halfway through and the system never rebooted. And the screen stayed black, obviously. So in those cases, we would rebuild the software from scratch, reload the firmware, and then the unit comes back fully functional. So a failed head unit doesn't always mean it's beyond repair. Many of these can be fixed at component level. It just takes the right tools and expertise. Number 3 in most common causes is that infotainment systems, they don't work in isolation. They connected to other modules like radio tuner, amplifier, Bluetooth, and in newer models, the SOS telematics module. If any of those linked modules fail, they can take the main system down, as I already mentioned before. So think of it like a chain of Christmas lights. If one bulb blows, then the whole string just goes dark. So you don't throw the whole set, you find the faulty one and repair it or replace it, and then you got all the lights working again. So that's basically it. And so interconnected faults are very common, and that's why quick visual checks or dealership diagnostics often miss the real cause. So before you actually book your car in for diagnostics, there are few simple things you can try yourself that often bring the system back to life. So number 1 I would recommend is try a hard reset. So most infotainment systems can be reset manually. It's like similar to restarting your phone. There's a button combination that you press for it to reboot. Again, different models will have a slightly different reset procedures, so it's always best to check your car's manual for the exact method. In many cars, it can be done by holding the power or volume knob for about 10-15 seconds, hold it down, and then release it when the Volkswagen or Audi logo appears. So each car has its own variation, but the idea is the same. It forces the infotainment system to reboot. If the screen comes back on, that's a good sign. But if it goes black again, soon after, it's likely points to a deeper fault. The second thing I would recommend is to power cycle the car. If the reset doesn't work, the next thing to try is a full power cycle. Turn the ignition off, lock the car, and leave it for about 5 to 15 minutes. That allows all the electronics in the car to shut down fully before restarting cleanly. When you come back to the car, unlock it, turn the ignition on, and see if the system boots normally. This might sound actually basic, but a surprising number of faults are fixed this way, especially if the car has been jump-started or the battery recently replaced. The third thing I would recommend is check the fuses and battery actually. It sounds obvious, but it's worth double checking. A loose or corroded fuse can cause the screen to stay black, even when the system itself is fine. We've seen plenty of cars quoted for full unit replacements where the only problem was a loose fuse connection. Also check your battery if it's healthy. Low voltage is actually one of the most common triggers for infotainment failures. If the battery is weak, the system may not power up properly or can appear completely dead. Getting it tested and charged can save you a lot of unnecessary expense. Now, if you tried all of these options and the screen is still blank or has come back alive but it's gone black or blank very quickly, then it's really time for proper diagnostics. But here's the thing, not all garages can actually repair these systems. Most, and that includes main dealerships, will follow a standard process. If the system doesn't power up, they will quote for a full system replacement. It's not that they're being dishonest, it's simply how manufacturers train their technicians. Replace the whole system rather than repair it. The problem with that approach is it often leads to misdiagnosis and bills that run into thousands of pounds. We've seen this all the time. Cars arrive to us with dealership big quotes for brand new head units, but after proper testing, we find the fault is much simpler, like a failed screen, damaged amplifier, or software issue. Once repaired correctly, the original system works just like it did from the factory. And that's where the specialist repair makes all the difference. We diagnose and repair these systems down to the circuit board level using engineering-grade tools that pinpoint the exact fault, not just the symptom. The factory diagnostic software, unfortunately, will only show in the majority of cases fault codes and communication errors, but it doesn't reveal what's actually failed inside the hardware. That's where we go further, tracing and repairing the real cause, using precision tools and components that meet or exceed OEM standards. And because everything stays original to the car, you keep your factory coding, your settings, your features exactly as they were. No compatibility issues, no mismatched parts, and no warning lights. So let's answer this question: why go for repair instead of replacement? Let's basically look at the practical benefits. So number one, it saves a lot of money. A full system replacement from a main dealer can easily run into the thousands. In many cases, a proper repair costs just a fraction of that, sometimes hundreds instead of thousands, because you're only fixing what's actually failed and not replacing everything around it. Then number two, it keeps your car original. Every head unit is coded to your specific car. It carries your VIN, your factory software version, and all your personalized settings. When you replace the system, the original link is lost. Now, if a dealer replaces the unit, it's usually done properly, coded to the factory standard, and registered on the manufacturer's online servers. But if the system is replaced elsewhere without the proper online registration, it can cause issues later. On the surface, everything might look and work fine, but when the car goes into for like a service or software update, then the dealer diagnostic system will flag that the unit doesn't belong to the vehicle. In some cases, that can prevent future updates or trigger non-original component warnings in the factory system. It can also raise red flags during inspection or resale checks, since the car's electronics record, they will be mismatched. By repairing your original unit, you avoid all of that. Everything stays coded, matched, and recognized exactly as the factory intended. No flags, no compatibility issues, and no surprises later on. Now, the next benefit is it's better for the environment. These systems are complex pieces of electronics that take a lot of energy and materials to produce. When they are replaced, basically most of the units end up scrapped, even if 90% of the hardware still works. So repairing instead of replacing keeps perfectly good components out of the landfill and reduces unnecessary electronic waste. Next benefit, it saves you time. Even if you agree to a full system replacement, many main dealers still have to order new units from manufacturer, which can take weeks. Specialist repairs, on the other hand, are often complete within just a day or a few days. So you get your car back quicker and without the huge wait. So if your infotainment screen has suddenly gone black, here's what to keep in mind. First, don't panic. This is a common issue across Volkswagen Group, and in most cases, it's completely repairable. Start with the basics, that I mentioned. Try a reset, power cycle the car, and check the fuses and the battery. If after that it's still not responding, that's when the proper diagnostics make all the difference. But before you agree to a full system replacement, always get a second opinion from a specialist, because what looks like a dead system might just be a simple repair. The goal is to fix what's actually failed, keep your original system intact, and save you from unnecessary cost and hassle. And when it's repaired correctly, it will work exactly as factory intended, fully coded, fully functional, and fully reliable. However, there's one more component that's often misdiagnosed as an infotainment unit failure, and it's becoming more and more frequent on cars from 2017 onwards. Click on this video somewhere in the screen and learn about the faults with the emergency call SOS system that can cause the infotainment to freeze, lag, or restart unexpectedly, leading many to believe the head unit itself has failed. Just click it now, watch it.